Well, you have to think back to the summer of 2014. And the news, certainly in Texas, but everywhere in the country, was unprecedented numbers of kids arriving at the border unaccompanied because of violence in Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and to some extent, children being conscripted into working for coyotes.
There was a giant influx, and of course, there was a media frenzy. Typical with the media, when things settle down, they go away. But the problem is still here. So right now, what's happening is we still have all those people that you heard about last summer, but they're now in the system. Many have been sent to live with relatives or sponsors, and now they're going through the legal system.
They have legal rights and no counsel. When I got the call in Texas in July, in the sweltering sun, you find a way to devote significant numbers of lawyers full-time to this problem. And all of the news that I've been listening to as I was driving through Texas was about the surge. Confusion, chaos, awful conditions in detention centers. And I thought about the people who were at the border in the sweltering sun, and I felt so proud to be a part of a place that could do something about it.
It's not a political issue. It's an issue of human compassion. Women that are willing to put their children on the top of a train to protect them. The situation is really serious, and we decided that it was an issue that we wanted to help do what we can.
The women that we are representing have already had a determination that they have credible fear. And then we represent them, number one, trying to get them bonded out of the detention centers, and number two, trying their asylum case.
That credible fear determination is the deciding factor on whether they are allowed to pursue other venues such as withholding of removal or asylum. Even when we got there, we just had to explain, we're your attorney, we're helping you. I don't work for the government. My goal is not to send you back to your country, and only after the 5th time you've said it and you keep showing up voluntarily that eventually they actually expect you to return the next time, because based on their whole life experience, when you say I'll be back in a couple of days, they don't actually expect you to show up. So it's really rewarding when you do, and they are so happy to see you.
The other group of people we have are the unaccompanied children. And there's a practice known as a special immigrant juvenile status, where we can go into state court and secure some type of green card or some type of approval to stay in the country. And I'm proud to say, having been a Jones Day lawyer for a long time, nobody puts a team on the field like Jones Day. We have 12 domestic offices involved. We're handling almost 90 cases now. We have a big, huge litigation team, more than 145 lawyers spread throughout the United States handling these cases.
We have a broad range of political views in the firm. That's one of our great strengths. But regardless of anyone, lawyers, politics, or views on immigration reform, we saw a substantial need for tens of thousands of children at the border who needed legal representation. And we didn't have the skills because we're not an immigration law firm to speak of, but we know how to represent clients and we know how to win and advance the rule of law.
Now, we didn't know anything about immigration law, but we're all learning it. Thanks in part to AILA, American Immigration Lawyers Association, which has helped educate us, and various nonprofits like Catholic Charities, which have held seminars for us. What's happening is that a group of lawyers, and not just Jones Day, chipped in. The lawyers in this country are committed to this type of thing.
I think that the firm's work in the immigration space is really consistent with the firm's commitment to working on both the rule of law and taking care of children. We have a whole appellate team that's working on these issues, so we've been working on developing the rule of law, and we've also been able to help children. I received a call from the ABA acknowledging that we had won the Publico Law Firm of the Year award. I am honored and pleased to be part of an institution that would be recognized by the ABA for such an extraordinary award.
People care about that, people who may want to join us as attorneys or staff. It's incredibly important to feel that they are doing meaningful work and that they are attached to a place that is doing meaningful work. We do very meaningful work for clients who pay our fees, but it's tremendous to be recognized for the work that we do on behalf of those who cannot pay, who are less fortunate.
I would never have expected upon joining Jones Day that they would have allocated these kinds of resources to this. It's really amazing. There has never been a limit on the number of hours. There has never been a limit on spending or the costs that I've incurred.
It is profoundly sad when you consider the conditions that lead people to send their children unaccompanied to live in a foreign land. Part of what we're doing is seeking to give dignity, a place to work, a place where your children are safe, a place where you can make a life and a home for your family without fear of violence. That is what this project is about at bottom. There were so many people in the firm who wanted to help. So you had lawyers dusting off their Spanish from high school, and you simply had large numbers of lawyers who wanted to go present themselves at the border and somehow help. And I am really proud of all of my partners and the lawyers in the firm who said, "Send me."